She told me over and over again how much she can't stand Marquez. And she also has let it be known that the paperwork has been notarized. I don't quite understand why she's holding on to it, but maybe it's just the fact that she thinks that, you know, her family is really gonna have a lot to say about her getting a divorce.
The end of Ken and Trisha's relationship has been making waves, especially on social media. Fans quickly noticed that all traces of Trisha were wiped from Ken's Instagram. No more photos of them together, no birthday messages, not even a casual mention. It was like she had never existed in his world. In today's digital age, when people break up, some choose to keep the memories alive by leaving old photos up. Others might remove a few posts to signal that they've moved on. But Ken didn't just remove a couple of pictures, he completely wiped her from his social media presence. That's what has everyone talking. Was this just a regular breakup, or was something deeper going on? When someone takes down all their partner's photos and completely erases their past from their feed, it usually signals more than just a casual split. Fans quickly speculated, did something serious happen behind the scenes? When someone cuts ties this sharply, it's often a sign that there's a lot more going on than they're letting on. But Ken didn't stop at just deleting the photos. After scrubbing his Instagram clean, he posted a cryptic message that left everyone trying to figure out its meaning. The caption simply read, "It's you versus you." Nothing more to talk about. At first glance, it might seem like a standard motivational quote. Maybe Ken was focusing on self-growth, working on himself without distractions.
Are you sure, and it's a tough question, dude, and don't take it the wrong way, are you sure that she don't want to be with him? Because look, man, wasn't that her high school sweetheart?
Some fans believed it was a message about leveling up, cutting out the noise, and moving forward in life. But let's be real, considering it came right after he erased Trisha from his feed, it didn't seem like a random inspirational message. Many people took it as a direct shot at her, as though Ken was telling her he was done explaining himself and was ready to move on. The tone of the message felt final, like he was putting a line in the sand and walking away. So, what exactly happened behind closed doors? Was there a big falling out, or did something messy happen that no one's talking about yet? Then there's the timing. Social media moves like this don't happen by accident. When someone removes all traces of an ex and immediately follows it up with a cryptic statement, it's usually meant for someone specific. Fans began reading between the lines, wondering if Ken was trying to send a message to Trisha, making it clear that he was officially moving on. One fan commented, "When a man deletes all your pictures overnight, just know he's been over you." The breakup didn't happen today, it happened months ago. Another fan joked, "Ken really said new year, new feed, but let's be honest, if she did this first, y'all would be calling her bitter." While Ken was clearing out his past, Trisha's social media told a different story. Unlike Ken, she hadn't erased their history together.
First of all, your ex-husband got to live rent-free. He's the issue. He creates the issue. My problem is you're trying to sit up here and act like I just be talking about these guys like I'm so insecure or bothered. That's what you're saying. You said saying that they live rent-free means that I talk about them regularly, and that's not true.
None of their
So
names come
stop
out of my
saying
mouth
that.
unless you bring it up.
Exactly.
In fact, she still had a recent post of the two of them up. This made fans wonder, if they had really broken up, why keep the pictures? Some people thought it meant that Trisha was still holding on, maybe hoping for a reconciliation. Others believed she was keeping the photos up for strategic reasons. Perhaps she was making sure her side of the story was visible, especially since Ken was trying to erase it. Trisha's next post added to the mystery. Instead of directly addressing the breakup, she shared a message about being grateful for her work. On the surface, it seemed like a harmless, positive post, but fans quickly began analyzing it. Was this her subtle way of showing she was moving forward? Or was she sending a message to Ken, indicating that she was focusing on her career instead of the drama? Some people speculated that Trisha might be proving she didn't need Ken financially. Perhaps she was showing that she could stand on her own, especially if she had become financially dependent on him during their relationship. If she had enjoyed a certain lifestyle while with him, maybe this was her way of signaling that she was securing her own future. While Ken and Trisha were handling things in very different ways, one thing was clear, both were making moves. Ken was wiping his past clean and posting cryptic messages, while Trisha was keeping the memories alive and focusing on her work. Fans couldn't help but wonder what was really going on behind the scenes. The stark contrast between how they were dealing with the breakup only fueled curiosity. If you've been paying attention, the signs that their relationship was in trouble were there long before Ken made the public moves on social media.
I'm trying to get Trisha to understand is that that whole privacy thing that she has going on doesn't work for our relationship anymore. Like if I ask her a question to her is an accusation. And I'm like, no, an accusation is an accusation. An accusation is me telling you, you did this. Me asking you a question is trying to figure out what actually went on, and it's not me. I can't tell you what you did if I don't know what you did. You gotta tell me.
The couple had always had their ups and downs, but some moments stood out as clear red flags. One of the most notable instances was when Ken disappeared for several days after a big fight. This wasn't just a small disagreement, it was serious enough for him to pack up and leave. During that time, Trisha didn't post about him, which was unusual. When Ken finally came back, things felt different. They tried to appear like everything was fine, but for anyone paying close attention, it was clear that something had shifted. The chemistry between them wasn't the same. Then there were those awkward moments on camera. Whether it was a live stream that ended abruptly or a vlog where they looked more like business partners than a couple, the energy between them had changed. Some followers even pointed out that Trisha seemed more invested in the relationship than Ken.
Care about me either. Why would you why would you go harder on somebody you care about than somebody you don't care about? That absolutely makes no sense.
Because I don't have no.
That makes no sense.
time.
You're supposed to be more subtle and more open to communication with me.
Because it's frustrating me that you keep asking me. That's
it's not keep asking. I only ask you when the situation and you lied about it.
She was the one trying to hold things together, while he seemed distant and already halfway out the door. There were even small jabs here and there, nothing major, but enough for fans to notice. A sarcastic joke, and I roll it all added up to a bigger picture. So, was the breakup a complete shock? Not if you had been paying attention. It wasn't just one big fight that caused everything to unravel, it was a slow burn. While fans were still unsure if they were together or not, Ken had already made it clear that he was done. This next part is where things get even messier. Ken recently gave an interview, and his comments raised more than a few eyebrows. When the topic of women sliding into his DMs came up, Ken didn't deny it. Instead, he played along, acting like it was no big deal. When asked how he dealt with all the attention, Ken smirked and basically brushed it off, saying something like, "Man, it's always love, you know how it is." That's not the response of someone who's in a committed relationship. That's the response of someone who's keeping his options open. Fans immediately picked up on it. Some believed this was Ken's way of subtly letting everyone know he was already moving on. Maybe the breakup had happened behind the scenes, and he was just waiting for the right moment to go public. Others thought it was an attempt to make Trisha jealous, a reminder that he still had plenty of women interested in him. When a guy starts openly acknowledging other women, it's usually a sign that he's mentally checked out of the relationship, even if the breakup hasn't been made official yet. Between the deleted photos, the cryptic posts, and now this interview, it was clear that Ken wasn't looking back. But what about Trisha? How was she handling all of this? Ken seemed determined to make sure everyone knew he was moving on, but Trisha was still holding on to some signs of their past. Her Instagram was still filled with memories of them together. So, what did it all mean? Was she waiting to see what would happen next, or was she pretending to be unbothered? If Trisha suddenly deleted all their pictures too, that would be the confirmation everyone had been waiting for. It would show that both of them were officially done. But if she keeps them up, it just adds more mystery to the situation. And let's not forget her recent post about being grateful for her work. Fans have already started speculating, was Trisha financially dependent on Ken? Was their relationship more about security than love? If that's the case, is Trisha trying to prove she's still standing strong on her own? One thing is for sure, this breakup is far from over. Even if Ken thinks he's closing that chapter, we know that these kinds of situations rarely resolve neatly. Fans are watching closely, waiting to see if Trisha will respond. Will she clap back, or will she take the high road and let Ken's actions speak for themselves? Only time will tell.